What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share with you my vegan story, why I went vegan, when I went vegan, because for some reason a lot of people assume that I've always been vegan, and I'm just like, bro, I'm Dominican. Ain't no way I was raised vegan. So let's just clear the air there. So I wanted to share my story and kind of give you like a background if you don't know me, like why I went vegan and why this girl is sharing vegan recipes with you. You know, if you're ever wondering, if not, cool. I was not born vegan. I wasn't raised vegan. Both my parents grew up eating meat and raised me to eat meat, and they still currently eat meat. So for 22 years, I was a hardcore meat eater. I was that person that would say I could never go vegan. I could never give up chicken wings. I could never give up carne asada tacos. Like, I was that person. So that's why I always say there is no judgment. If you say those things, I hear it all the time. Like, I can never give up meat. I get it, because I was that person. So I can't even like hold you on that comment, because I used to say that. But yeah, I used to be that hardcore like meat eater. Well, I wouldn't say hardcore, but for the most part, like every meal I had to eat meat. Like, I grew up with that thought that like you have to eat meat, and it didn't help that I was skinny, so like everyone was like, oh, you need to eat meat. So if you're that person that says I could never go vegan, I could never stop eating meat, I always tell people you can, you just don't want to. Or you can, maybe not now, but later on in the future, you never know. Like, I'm a firm believer in never say never, just because I was that person that said I could never go vegan. And here I am, 28, and I'm vegan. So don't knock it till you try it. But anyways, so 22 years old, that was 2014. 2014, I was still saying I could never go vegan. But one day, out of pure curiosity, I was like, why are people vegan? Like, I had no intention on going vegan. Like, I remember when I was doing my research, my boyfriend at the time, I told him, I was like, oh yeah, I want to like know why people are vegan. I could never do it. I'm not gonna go vegan, but I just want to know like, why are vegans vegan? Like, what's the deal? So I started doing research. Netflix had a few good documentaries in the beginning. This was before like What the Health. So out of curiosity, I was watching, I like documentaries, so I was watching Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. It's not a vegan documentary, but it was about this man who was like suffering from a lot of health problems. So he decided to just juice for I forget how many days, but he was on like a juice cleanse for a very long time, and it reversed all his like heart problems, like medical issues, the medications he was on. It helped him lose weight, gave him more energy. Like, you should look it up. I forget his name, but the documentary is called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. It's really good. So I rewatched that documentary just to learn about like the health benefits of like plant-based foods and stuff like that. And then I started watching Forks Over Knives, which then led me to watch Cowspiracy. And that's when I really started learning about like the animal side of veganism. I was learning more like the health benefits, because at the time I wanted to eat healthier, but still, even just learning the health benefits, it didn't move me to go vegan, because I wasn't like an unhealthy eater. I didn't have like heart problems, like medical conditions where I felt like I could benefit from a plant-based diet. It was just simply out of like curiosity. But once I saw the animal side to veganism and I watched Cowspiracy, that's what did it for me. And that's why I always tell people, find your why, because once you find that reason that it hits you in your core, that's what's gonna help you go vegan and stay vegan. Now, mind you, like, we all know, once you like become a certain age, we all know like where meat comes from. But I just never really like thought about exactly like what the process is that these animals go through. I always felt bad. Like, I've always been like a hardcore animal lover. Like, seeing the trucks full of like cows broke my heart every single time. I was still eating meat, but it still broke my heart. Once I saw certain video footage of what these animals go through in the factory farms, I couldn't go back. I just no longer looked at meat as like meat. I literally would look at it as an animal. I just made that connection, and I couldn't go back. I tried to go vegan for, I think, the first week I tried to go vegan, I think I lasted a couple days. At the time I was going to school. I wasn't properly educated when it came to food. I didn't pack food. I wasn't prepared. Like, it was still new to me, so I would go to school I wouldn't have a packed lunch. There weren't vegan places like there are today. So I literally had little to no options. So I'd be in school starving. But instead of me just going back to eating meat, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be vegan eventually, but let me take a step back and ease my way into it and do vegetarian for now, because at least I could go to the little pizza shop right by my school and get a cheese pizza. Like, I could do that, it's fine. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna be vegetarian. So for 2014, I went vegetarian for the first time. And even going vegetarian was not hard when it came to food, but when it came to just being with my family, it was hard because they just didn't understand it. One time I almost slipped. My mom was making her pastelitos. She makes beef pastelitos. I loved her beef pastelitos. So I came over to her house one day and she was making it. The house, like, yo, when you make pastelitos, the house just smells good. You could smell the food, the flavor, everything. And I'm just like, shit, I'm in trouble. And she has them on the table. She's eating one. She's like, are you sure you don't want one? She's like, just eat one, Viviana. It's only one. Just eat one. And I was like, fine. I grabbed one. I think I was about like a month into being vegetarian. I grabbed one, literally had it in my mouth, and I just couldn't take a bite. Like, my brain was literally telling my mouth like not to bite into it. Like, I just physically could not take a bite, and I took it out of my mouth. It's like, this was literally a cow that didn't want to die. Like, I made that connection, and I was just like, I can't. And that's when I knew I was serious about this. So cutting out meat wasn't hard. I mean, yeah, I had my days where like certain smells would trigger me, and I'm like, damn, that looks good. Damn, that smells good. Or I miss this flavor or whatever. But for me, my why was bigger than me eating meat for like a couple minutes and then feeling like shit afterwards because I feel guilty for it. You know, like, I literally started feeling guilty for eating meat. So I was like, it's not worth it. And people say to me all the time, like, oh, being vegan, like, it must have been hard going vegan. And I always say, like, it really wasn't, because I eased my way into it. But even when I was vegetarian, I was mostly vegan in the house because I'm sorry, y'all might hate me if you're a cheese lover. I've never been a cheese lover. I'm not obsessed with cheese. I've never been obsessed with cheese. So for me, cutting out dairy also wasn't a big deal because I barely ate it anyways. Like, I just didn't like cheese. So I'm like, that wasn't that hard. So when I was home, I was cooking mostly vegan. I switched out dairy. I would buy vegan yogurt, vegan milk, vegan butter, vegan ice cream. My meals at home were mostly vegan, but when I would go out to eat, that's when I was like, okay, if they don't have a vegan option, at least I know a place would most likely have a vegetarian option. So that way I wouldn't put too much pressure on myself. And honestly, back in 2014, the vegan options we have now were nothing compared to 2014. Like, going out to eat and trying to find vegan food back then was pretty hard. But then March 2018, I like fully committed to going vegan and staying vegan. I started noticing that since I didn't eat cheese a lot, whenever I would eat dairy, I would start breaking out all over my face. And if I ate dairy consistently, like, I just would have like really bad breakouts. Then slowly, like, dairy just started grossing me out. Like, even just knowing the process of dairy and what it is, I was like, yeah, I'm over dairy. So March 2018, I committed to being vegan. I was like, you know what? It's time. That's why I say, like, just take your time. Do what works best for you. Like, if starting off as a vegetarian, whether you're a vegetarian for a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, that's okay. Like, if your end goal is to be vegan, don't beat yourself up just because for whatever how many years you're not vegan. If I would have forced myself to be vegan when I wasn't ready, then I would have been that person that was like, yeah, I tried going vegan. It's too hard. I don't like it, whatever. And it definitely can be hard if you are trying to dive headfirst into something you know nothing about. It's gonna be hard. And I feel like that applies to everything in life. Now, mind you, there are some people who could do things cold turkey and who could dive headfirst into something they know nothing about, and like, they thrive off of that energy or whatever. People like to do that. But you have to know yourself and know the type of person you are. And if you are not that person, that is okay. Then do what works best for you for the millionth time. I'm gonna say that. And now I am, oh my God, it's almost March. Oh shit. So I just realized next month is gonna be my 4-year anniversary being a vegan. I just realized that. Oh my God. I've officially been vegan, will be vegan for 4 years. And meat-free for, this year will be 6 years meat-free. No, wait. No. Hold on, I lied. Wait, no, yeah. Huh? Hold on, I did the math wrong. Guys, I lied. I didn't go vegetarian 2014. I went vegetarian 2016. Now that I remember the year, so September will actually be 6 years meat-free. I was like, nah, I have not been meat-free for that long. I always get asked like, do you miss meat? Would you ever go back to eating meat? And honestly, I wholeheartedly can say hell no. I was gonna say no, but honestly, hell no. Like, I still look at meat and I see an animal, and once you make that connection, it's hard to go back. Like, it really is hard to go back. But yeah, I would not go back. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties today. And if anything, going vegan has like made me be less picky. If you know me growing up, I used to be a picky eater. Like, back then, sushi, you could never pay me any money to eat sushi. Like, I'm like, sorry bro, I was never a fish person either. But sushi, back then, hell no. Vegan sushi, I'll try it. Mac and cheese, don't hate me. Mac and cheese back then, hell no. Vegan mac and cheese, definitely. That's why, like, when people say like, oh, it's so like restrictive, I'm like, bro, what? You think you ain't living the right vegan life, then you're not doing it right. If you are a picky person, it might make you like try new things. And then too, like, I never noticed any like crazy health differences. I didn't do it for any of those things, so I wasn't really keeping track of like how it was changing my like health. But my 2 benefits that I could think off the top of my head were less picky, and I got clear skin out of it. So those were like the only 2 big benefits for me. But there are a lot of amazing benefits to going vegan if you are looking for that. But yeah, that is how I went vegan. And I think if you want to go vegan, you definitely can, if it's what you want. I have a video on like more tips, because I could just keep rambling. I'll share in the description box if you do want like tips and stuff, if you are trying to go vegan. So yeah, so that's my vegan story. 4 years. Latina, Dominicana, like, it's crazy. My family still to this day, like, if you're Latina, Latino, and you want to go vegan or vegetarian or even vegetarian, prepare for the jokes. Like, especially if your family is full of people who just love to talk shit, love to joke around, prepare for the jokes. Because I've been vegan for 4 years, and when I tell you my family still has jokes, and I'm like, I mean, I just laugh honestly, you just gotta laugh. Like, some of them are funny, I'm not gonna lie. Some of them are annoying, but you just gotta like know who to pick your battles with. Gotta have tough skin sometimes. But yeah, if you are Latino, Latina, or even, not even just like, if you are just someone whose family is hardcore meat, and they think vegetarian is stupid, vegan is stupid, but that's what you want, don't let them hold you back. It might be hard depending on your living situation, but don't let it hold you back. Do your research. If you want to do it, you can do it. Do what works for you. And eventually, on your journey, you will get to being vegan. I just wanted to share my story with you. That way, whatever your background is, you can see that your vegan journey isn't going to be perfect. You might struggle giving up meat. You might struggle giving up dairy. Don't beat yourself up over it. Don't beat yourself up because you see people did it cold turkey and you didn't. Don't beat yourself up because I said, oh, giving up meat wasn't hard for me, but it's hard for you. Like, we're all different. Even though it wasn't hard for me when it came to giving it up, I did struggle with a lot of like behind the scene things, whether it was like going on trips, trying to find food, trying to like accommodate other people. I struggled a lot with my ex-boyfriend. That was like a really big issue. So I did struggle with some things, but when it came to like the actual like giving it up, it wasn't like a struggle for me. But don't let that discourage you. I just hope it helped you like make it relatable and help you see like, okay, your journey doesn't have to be perfect. It's not gonna be perfect. I've accidentally eaten meat. I've accidentally eaten dairy throughout the years, so it's gonna happen. Don't beat yourself up. But I hope you liked my video, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye guys.
to